Today we're going back, way back to the 90s. Here at the Loft, not only do we like painting minis, but we also like collecting our old Warhammer armies that we've had since we were younger. The Tyranids you see before you on my right side are extra special because they were the first army that, as we like to call him here, Mr. Mini Loft, ever collected. His father got it for him as a gift a long time ago when they both first got into the hobby. So with this incredibly fun turn of fate, the talented old hammer enthusiast, Snakeworks Studios, approached me for a collaboration. He saw my Orchid Mantis color scheme and was really interested in trying it out for himself, but didn't want his whole army to be orchid colored as he was originally wanting to do the old 92 Rogue Trader color scheme. So he approached me and asked if we can do a swap. I will paint 10 Termagants in the Rogue Trader color scheme and he will paint 10 as the Orchid Mantis. And then we will ship them out to each other so that we both have complete armies in our color scheme. This sounded like such a fun idea, I jumped at the opportunity because we are also old hammer enthusiasts here as well. And it's gonna be really cool doing the Rogue Trader paint scheme. So let's take a trip back to the 90s and paint some new 10th edition Termagants in the 2nd edition Rogue Trader paint scheme. He sent me this photo. As you can see, there seems to be blue armor plating, but they didn't have the armor plating at the tops of their heads like these guys do. So I think the plan is to do the blue armor plating on their backs and then the red and yellow stripes on the top of their head. Maybe the yellow stripes can go along the side where you see those holes. That could work. Also, he sent me how he planned to base these things, and I'm a baser now. I do that. You can watch the last video where I tried it out for the first time ever in my whole life. This looks harder, but also easier. It seems easier than what I did with my last ones, but it also looks harder because it looks like actual sand. I don't have really nice sand like that just lying around. I might go to the store later, the hobby store, and pick up some sand. And I think that with some glue should do it, but first, looking at his video, priming everything in black and then doing a zenithal with his airbrush. And since I also have been practicing my airbrush recently, I think we can do that. So let's start with that. Let's go. Airbrushing is done, and now that the airbrush is clean and dry, a very important step. So he uses a pinkish purple contrast paint, and I definitely don't have one of those. He talks about maybe doing something darker like Nuln Oil, and while I also don't have that, I do have the Army Painter equivalent, which is dark tone. So let's put something on there and see if it's maybe not too dark. So far so good with putting on the wash first. I do wonder though, why did we paint everything red if so much of it was going to be blue? I don't know why I didn't mark them off or maybe do blue first. I know more of the body is red, but I'm gonna have to cover so much of it in black and then redo the blue armor and stuff like that. I don't know if there was a faster way to do that, because blocking off all the armor parts that I wanted blue with like putty or tape or something like that seems like it would take a really long time. It also seems like it's going to take a long time to repaint everything black to then redo it blue. I'm going to let the washes dry and come back tomorrow. See you guys then. Beginning of day 2, and now it's time for the dry brushing. And before I get started, I have some extra sprues, and I'm gonna try that cool DIY tip where you make your own dry brush palette tester thing with some sprues first, because it's about time, and I think now that I have all these Leviathan sprues just hanging around, this is the perfect chance. Also, it's a lot more stress and pressure to make something for someone else, and I am feeling that stress. I think I put too much of the wash on, and some of them are just overall darker than others. Like, look at these two. One is clearly darker than the other when I airbrushed it. Sorry. We'll fix it up. And plus, every Tyranid is unique, just like us people, obviously. So some are going to be a darker red and some are going to be a brighter red. And that's just the circle of mutation. I'm gonna put this together and then we'll start dry brushing. I put everything I didn't want red in black, so that way they're fresh and ready to go when I need to do different colors and not all tinted red. The plan is that his back and his thighs are going to be that blue color that you see that sort of wraps around them. I think that was where their original armor pieces were. Then for the gun, it looks a bone color to me. It's really hard to tell. The image is kind of a low quality image, and I've been Googling a lot and I couldn't find anything else. So I'm gonna stick with a bone color and try to do a similar bone look that was used in his Screamer Killer. And then of course doing the cool yellow stripes on the top of his head armor plates. So that's all going to happen tomorrow, which means that these guys are really gonna start coming together, and I'm super excited. So we'll do it then. See ya. day 3. It's day 3. And it's coming together. I feel like I'm actually learning a lot listening to this tutorial, and it's really helping me so much. And this is some of the best painting I feel like I've ever done, just following along and tweaking some things when I don't have the right color, but it's coming out really, really cool. And I hope you'll like it. Look at this guy. I tested out the blue on his back on just one, fully done. He looks so good. Like, I'm in shock that it's, while not the simplest technique, sort of breaking it down into steps really helped. And now I can see where all these other people are doing it, and it's really cool to see it come together. And I also feel like a little bit of like a paint color mixer master, not master, but it's been a lot of fun mixing the paints to try and get the same-ish color from his work, because he's using a lot of the Vallejo game color stuff for this. And like I said, I only have Army Painter, so I've been using these 3 blues in a mixture instead of the game colors he was using. Deep blue, a crystal blue and deep blue mix, and a void shield blue, crystal blue mix with a dash of yellow, just a bit, because his looked almost like aquamarine color-ish, and I thought maybe a little bit of yellow. Anyway, it was really fun sort of mixing it together and try to get his colors, and I think I did it, and it's been cool. The only thing I will change though is I might jump a color, because these guys are so small and the details from far away are hard to see, and it's just gonna take ages to do all these little lines on 10 of them. So I'm glad I tested it. I think I'm gonna test it one more time on a guy just going straight from maybe the crystal blue mix to the void shield blue mix, and see if I can get a similar result with one less step of striating. So let's keep going. It is late at night, and I feel like I was able to today paint maybe 5 or 6 hours total. And that is the most painting I've ever done in one day, and I'm exhausted, but I love how these guys are turning out. Has it ever happened to you where you're working on a piece or you're working on something and it's just, you're so drained that you're like, I need a win, and the best way to get, you know, a satisfying win is to just throw like a wash or a shade over it? And so that's basically what I did. I was going to start putting the bone color on all 10 of them all at once, and after all the little blue lines that I worked for like an hour on, I couldn't look at this bone color and be okay with it. It was just too much. So I put a wash on it, and I was like, okay, this is finally starting to look good now. I'm just gonna do 4. I'm gonna put all the bone, and I'm gonna put the wash, and I'm gonna call it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna come in with a little bit of a highlight, or maybe that same color, so that it doesn't wash it down so much, because I think it looks too dark. I'm tired. I need a break. So I will see you guys to finish up the bone tomorrow. See you. Hi guys, it's the beginning of day 4, and now I'm going to work on the cool yellow stripes on the tops of their heads. I did a test one where I put the yellow actually under the eyes too. Almost like, I don't know, shadow under there, but I don't think that's quite how it was in the pictures. Plus it looks weird, like it almost covers the eye and you can't tell they have eyes at all. So I'm going to just do the 3 ridges on top. Now the other thing that I'm still trying to figure out is how to make them contrast a bit more. I tried putting a lighter yellow on top, but you honestly can't tell. I'm thinking maybe like mix a little bit of orange with the yellow color that I have and just see if that in like the shadows make it a little bit more dynamic so it doesn't just blend together into looking like pure yellow stripes. They look really cool and I feel like I'm seeing the results of my practice and my work, and plus I'm spending more time on details and things like that, and it's paying off. It really is. And all that's left are their teeth and tongues and their little vent things, which are all tiny little details, and the bases, and that's it. And then these guys will be done. So let's push on. I thought I would finish them all, but these tiny details take a long time. Plus I didn't have as much time today to work on it, but that's okay because we're here just to have fun. I ended up putting Agrax Earthshade to help give it more contrast because I thought it was just too bright yellow and you couldn't really see much with it, and it worked. It worked. I could do more, but I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours doing meticulous little details to make it just so right now, when you sit and look at them on the table, I'm looking at them right now, they look good. They look definitely table ready. One thing I'm struggling with is the base. I'm struggling with the basing again. I don't know why this one gives me such a hang up. Got these tiny little sandy rocks and glued them on, but I couldn't get enough of them on to look good. I didn't know how to apply the glue. I had an old brush. I was trying it that way. I couldn't get all the rocks where I wanted to. I don't know why. It's so difficult for me. I just need more practice. I still feel like I don't even know where to begin and I'm just fumbling in the dark trying to figure it out. But this is a problem that's going to be for tomorrow Mel, because tonight Mel is going to take a break. We'll do the final hurrah tomorrow, day 5 of 5-day project. I haven't done that before. And then we'll get to see the final results and see the Rogue Trader 90s inspired art on a 2023 model. Truly a throwback of the century. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys. And there it is, they're all done. Finally. This project took way longer than I expected, but I didn't want to give him something that was just half done or rushed, and I wanted to make sure that he had something that was good since he's clearly a much better painter than I am. I'm so glad I did this though. I think following along with his steps and seeing how exactly he did the brush strokes and things like that helped so much to make these guys look really good. I'm super proud of them. Of course, there's a few little mistakes. Basing should not be this difficult for me, but it is. I'm not a fan of my basing. I have no idea how I could have done it better. I ended up only being able to find rock chunks instead of sand because I just couldn't drive really far out to go to a place that had normal sand in my area. I'm so happy with how these turned out, and I can't wait for him to see them. I'm going to be shipping them out right after I finish filming this. Please check out his work. His video on the Screamer Killer helped me so much. He should be coming out with a video on the Orchid Mantis as well, and you should check all of that out. Since I learned so much, this was really cool. I think it'd be really neat to do a series of me following along with other better, more professional painters and seeing what I come up with. If I won't get copyright for that, I have no idea. Let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. Thanks so much for joining me. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.